Ahead of the G20 summit, authorities are busy beautifying New Delhi. The government says it is demolishing illegal encroachments. But activists say the exercise have left thousands of people homeless, accusing the government of trying to cover up the city's poverty. Shalu Yadav with this report.
Picking up the remains of her life and livelihood, Hazra Begum is living a precarious existence. She and her husband lived here for 17 years. But in just a matter of seconds last month, her one-story house was razed to the ground by government authorities. They said the building was illegal. Hazra's sister Shamra shows me their electricity bill and government schemes cards, all documents attached to this address to prove that their home was not illegal. But they were not given this chance by the authorities.
वैसे ही अचानक से वो आया और आते वो जो है हम लोग को कुछ पता नहीं चला कि हाँ ये तोड़ने के लिए आ रहा है या कुछ कहने के लिए आ रहा है, हमें कुछ भी पता नहीं चला। हम घर में थे, बहुत सामान मेरी नुकसान हो गई, फ्रिज था, कूलर था, टीवी था। जैसे एक हमला नहीं होता है वैसे ही वो मेरे साथ। हम सरकार को पैर जोड़ के हाथ जोड़ के कहते जो मेरी लागत है वो हमें दे दे।
With nowhere else to go, Hazra is now forced to live here, surrounded by debris. Shamra herself recalls spending her childhood in this area, which is now reduced to rubble. She says it's gross injustice to the poor, many of whom do the actual work to help make the city spotless.
कि देखिए मैं इस तरीक़ा से मैं दिल्ली को देखने के लायक बनाया हूँ, मगर ये दिखने के लायक भी क्या बनाया जो गरीबों का आशियाना छीन के बना रहे हो। हम ही तो ये किलिंग करते हैं, हर चीज़ हम ही किलिंग करते हैं। जब हमें ही देश से निकाल देंगे तो ये कहाँ से देश को सुंदर बनाएंगे? कभी नहीं बन सकता देश सुंदर।
There are no official figures available, but reports estimate that about $120 million in public funds has been spent to beautify New Delhi as the city prepares to play host to leaders from some of the wealthiest nations. Many of the G20 delegates are expected to take part in a heritage walk in this part of New Delhi. This is just one of the many areas in the city where homes and shanties have been demolished. Activists say that this is not the first time that the city has seen drives to evict the poor. It happened during the preparations for the Asian Games in the 1970s, as well as the Commonwealth Games in 2010, when thousands were left homeless. Authorities say that many of the settlements that have been demolished were illegal encroachments and have dismissed any links to the G20. But activists like Harsh Mandir disagree. Last month, an event organized by him to raise the issue was disrupted by the police. He told CNA that the police prevented participants from entering the venue and locked in those who were present inside.
But the patterns are very clear, and that is this idea of governments ashamed of what I would describe as ostensible poverty, poverty that is visible to our foreign guests.
Activists also say that the scale of homelessness has doubled in Delhi since the preparations for G20 began late last year, with no concrete rehabilitation plans for the poor.
पूरे दिल्ली में जो इविक्शन हुआ है उसमें अगर हम माने तो 18,000 परिवार का आंकड़ा निकल कर आया कि 18,000 परिवार बेघर हुए हैं.
Mr. Modi's government and the Aam Aadmi Party that governs the city of Delhi have both publicly staked claim for beautifying Delhi, but both did not respond to our request for a comment on the demolition drive. Activists say that such demolitions and evictions have also been reported in other cities where G20 events were held this year. The UN says that while there's been a remarkable reduction in poverty in India, about 230 million Indians still remain poor. Ahead of the G20, Delhi's makeover has meant buildings have now brightly painted murals on them. All roads are brightly lit and the city has several new public parks. But behind the curtain of beauty, critics say remains the beast of poverty that could still challenge India's image as one of the world's fastest growing economies. Shalu Yadav, CNA, New Delhi.